Hello, everybody. It is Friday night. It's me and Drew. I'm from Reality Realness with 3 S's. We got Drew over here from Angelcake Entertainment Channel. We are here to talk about the challenge, season 38. It is upon us. We have arrived. How are you doing, Drew?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here with my ride or die for the season in you, Chantele. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what we're doing that's semi-new to us because normally we just do review and recaps everywhere we go, but it's a little bit different. I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say about the season. Like that's what I've been waiting for, just to hear what your thoughts on of the premiere, the cast, the twists. I cannot wait.
Well, let's just get into it because I really enjoyed the premiere. I'll just tell with the one thing that I didn't like, and then we can just talk about all the things that I liked after. I didn't like that they didn't let us know why Casey was gone. It was just like, oh, Casey's gone, 2 people in. Like, is she gone for good? Is her and Kenny going to be coming back later on? People are saying like they see Casey and Kenny, or at least Casey in some of like the season long trailers, but is it that because they filmed some stuff before the first lockdown? Like, I want to know more answers about what's happening there. So that was my only real gripe that I had with like the premiere, is that like it was just left some unanswered questions. But other than that, I thought the premiere was pretty good.
I 100% agree with you. My only qualm about the premiere episode is how they handled the Casey and Kenny going away. Why did 2 teams come in when I feel like the rumor was that Anissa and James, her original partner, also left? That's why there's 2 partners coming in to take not just Casey and Kenny's place, but it was supposed to take Anissa and James's place as well. And then ipso facto make this Frankenstein ride or die pairing of Jordan and Anissa to come in. And then, yeah, from all my trailer breakdowns, which I've done 2 so far this season, and then I watched the Ride or Die Ready to Ride episode 0, where they did talk about Kenny and Casey at length, and even in their segments you could see them doing different daily challenges. So they're coming back. So it's just weird how that was all handled. Definitely not transparent. TJ made it sound like they weren't coming back. Almost, they were just like, oh, Casey and Kenny are no longer in the game, and it's like, for good? I see them in different stuff. This is weird.
Yeah, it's definitely really strange because I think we see Casey and Kenny on the boat. And so
yes.
I was like, okay, so they're being established here. And as you said, they were established in the episode 0. So I was like, why are they not being a little bit more clear as to what is going on with this team, especially since we have them on our drafts? I want to know what's going on.
Yeah. Also, somebody mentioned it to me because I didn't listen to the official challenge podcast, but somebody who did listen to it said that Tori was sitting by Anissa on the flight and joking around with her, and that made people even more confused. Like, did everybody know about the new people coming in every other episode, or every like down the line? Did everybody know about TJ Super 6? When in actuality, Anissa was a part of the original cast, and then it all went to heck in a handbasket for the first couple of weeks there, it sounds like.
So let's speculate a little bit. What do you think TJ's twist is? We saw at the end of this episode, we got Bananas and Nani coming back. And I know people don't care for them. People are like, oh, why do you care about Nani? Why do you care about Bananas? I thought it felt epic to me. I felt like, you know what, they need to be here. It's just, there was something about how they built up their arrival that seemed pretty epic, in my opinion. So what do you think about them coming onto the scene? And then how do you think they're going to filter in the other 2 teams as some big twists? Like, what do you think's happening there?
I think that it would have a little bit more bite to it if they didn't already spoil that Bananas and Nani would be a part of the season, and the other 2. Kind of like Final Reckoning. I mean, whenever they brought in mercenaries for that season, it was a shock every time. But because they were worried that if they just put out the 13 teams at the very beginning, like these are just this is the only 13 teams that are going to be on the season, people were nervous if nobody saw CT or Bananas on the cast list, and that could have really hindered some ratings. So they kind of had to spoil their hand at the beginning, being like, don't worry, Bananas is coming in, Darrell's coming in, Veronica, Jordan, they're all coming in at some point. But I do think that it was it's good. I think it's going to definitely twist up the game. I mean, this first episode, we saw something that we haven't seen in quite a while, and that was rookies taking over and
Mm-hmm.
not backing down. They're really willing to throw some big punches out there. So I think Bananas and Nani's going to come in, really throw a wrench into it. I'm waiting. I'm salivating at the thought of Jordan coming in, though. I know that's going to really pop off drama in the house, and I cannot wait.
I'm also salivating over for at least a couple of weeks having Nani without Casey, because it seems like she's getting in fights. Like when she's on the same season as Casey, she's so chill and in a loving relationship and they whatever. But like as soon as Casey's not around, like old Nani seems to be showing her face again.
I hope.
I know,
I really
right?
do. I miss her.
So what do you think about Turbo returning? He had a pretty vocal, we'll say, first episode, getting into a fight immediately with Laurel on the boat, getting into a fight with Devin at the zone, in the zone. Like, what do you think about Turbo?
First of all, love Turbo. I will always love Turbo. I don't know what it is. We do feel like we're getting someone different than what we got in War of the Worlds. Now, somebody did point out that he was trying
The
to fight people
ponytail?
on War of the Worlds. What?
The ponytail?
Oh yeah, the ponytail. Maybe it is the ponytail, but it feels like we're getting somebody different from War of the Worlds Turbo, who was just there to compete and play hard. But he did try to fight Hunter at one point. It just feels different. I think coming into the season, he doesn't know exactly who he can trust. He doesn't see Nani there. There's a lot of newer challengers when he's walking in the door. And I feel like he's thinking that he needs to assert domination over players that think that maybe, oh, he only won once and he got DQ'd and I can probably take him, and he wants to step up to him. I will say that I was surprised that he got in the fight with Laurel. I thought Fessy would have been the one to come at Turbo, because we've seen Fessy go at CT.
Terrified of Turbo.
That is true. That is true.
He's
that is true.
so scared of him. In my opinion, he's like acts like, oh, like he's tough. Like, you know, he has like a little tiff with his partner being like, oh, I'm not cocky, Turbo's cocky. But like I think that Fessy is terrified of Turbo. Unpredictable.
Did you see his face at the daily challenge when TJ said that Casey and Kenny were no longer in the game? And his face went like, oh, like
how am I going to play this game?
Please.
Well, what is
he
going to do? Does he have any, like, he doesn't have an ally with Nelson. Really, I mean, maybe Nelson's pretty forgiving, so he might just, you know, for the numbers, work again with him. But without having Nani being a link with, you know, he doesn't seem to have any allies. Who is he going to work with?
I guess Tori would be his closest ally. Yeah, I think. Okay. I mean, Tori and Devin need all the help they can get, all the friends they can get after seeing one elimination. And if the rookies start to step up and want to throw them back in again, I don't think they would have too hard of a shot to do it if Devin and Tori don't win. But yeah, I think that's the closest person. I mean, if Casey takes a while to come back, I mean, Fessy could be chewing on his fingernails, I think.
We have some friends joining us. Hi, Chris. Hi, lovable Nikki. Hi, Antoinette. So I'm not sure how I feel about 38 yet. I mean, that's understandable. It's the first episode. Everything's a little bit out of sort. So we understand. But it's going to be fun with us no matter what, talking about the episode. And we're doing our power rankings and talking about the points from our fantasy draft. So it will be fun Friday nights no matter what. So I don't know a lot about the cast. Turbo is menacing in a bad way, and the daggers were not okay. Okay. But Laurel is there. So, I mean, I wasn't particularly offended by Turbo, but I could see how he could be a little bit jarring.
Yeah. I mean, he's very, I think he's stiff right now. He's coming back in. He may not know a lot of the people. And like I said, he might want to like assert intimidation early. But it sounds like he doesn't even want to work with the vets. At the end, when Devin makes that joke at him, he's like, I want to work with all the newer players now because maybe I can trust them a little bit more. And Amber said the same thing. So I'm sure even though Devin and Tori may not have the best relationship with Bananas, it seems like they're going to be their number one team to want to work with.
You're going to have to
be there.
Do that. Well, especially when the other two teams come in. Veronica is all about OG loyalty, or like making a big a group of people, like an alliance of some sort. Like she always is going for the numbers. We even saw in that episode 0 that she's like, yeah, well, like let's get rid of him and like let's keep our number strong. We have to stick together. Like she already has that mentality from that pre-show. So, well, I guess they probably filmed that pre-show after though, didn't they? After filming,
they have to,
so they know what the outcome is. Interesting. So
yeah, it is very interesting because Anissa would have had to leave and then come back and then talk to her partner Jordan. That's so weird. That's really weird.
Very. So yeah, they probably know some other things that it went down. That's probably why it was so like stilted the way that they were doing it, pretending to act. And I'm like, I just wish this was a little bit more normal because some people were better at it than others. But I found that like trying to make it seem natural, you just having this natural conversation about these players, I was like, not the greatest actors, some of you.
Bananas was a little bit over the top when I was going through it. I was like, man, he is really playing it up.
And Jordan was a bit much. I think that Anissa was decently good about kind of bringing on the new conversation and making it sound natural. But those two were like, so have you heard about this guy? He's just, he looks incredible. And I'm like, not so good. Hi, Dolores. Thank you for being here. So, okay, so we are going to do some power rankings today. Yes, Turbo is unhinged. I made some tiers. And now I don't know if you're going to agree with the tiers that I made, but I made a set of tiers that we can place all the players from this season or this cast, this episode. So kind of like while we'll be placing them, we'll be able to talk a little bit more about the episode for what they did, episode 1. And so, okay, let me just get this ready for you to see what the tiers are that I created.
Yeah, I just for everybody to know, I have not seen these. I did not have my own hand in them. This is all Chantele, and then we're going to talk about them.
I hope it's this one. Yeah, it is. Okay, I think. Yeah. Okay. So, can you see the tiers?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, the lowest tier right now, what I had, inspired by Unhinged Turbo, is the lowest tier will be Pussy Chicken.
Okay.
The next tier up is No Ride, Just Die in the game. So it's just kind of like, they're not really doing that much. Then we have Dead Team Walking. So maybe somebody that's like a bit more visible. And if they have a little more power, they might be able to do something. But if they don't get any power, they might be out. So they're kind of middle of the road player this week.
Okay.
And I got Stirring the Pot. And then Loyal to the Stoil would be like the top tier. So what do you think about these tiers? Do you want to change any? Do you want to use them? What are your thoughts?
I think they're all pretty decent. I couldn't come up with any. We talked about these tiers, and we're going to probably workshop them as we go on. But off the top of my head, I feel like these are good. I just need to visualize what we're trying to like. What is the full definition of each tier? Like I gotta keep on reminding myself so I don't like accidentally put too many teams in one tier and I'm kind of like falling apart.
Well, I was thinking of that. I was gonna make my own kind of like ranking, but then I was like, well, why don't we just debate each person and as to which tier we want to put them in? And I think that would just kind of make it easy.
I feel after one episode, I'm gonna want to put them all in like the third tier or majority in the third tier, but I do have some ones that can go higher. Definitely.
Okay. Well, we could see how that works. How do you guys feel about this in the chat? Do we like these tiers? Do you have anything better that you'd like to share? They're going to put on glasses so I can see these comments better.
Also, debate us while we're debating, because I want to know where people would put whom or where in which tier, because I think that's interesting.
What lowest tier is Nelson's speech? I can't with you, Matthew.
Man, what? I really wish I would have memorized his speech. So when we started, I could have just been like, you'd be like, oh, how are you doing? And I'll be like, well, we're here because we're here. The game can be the game. But are we really here if the game is not the game? What, Nelson? Get out of here, man. That was rough.
I want to add that in right now because that's really funny.
man.
Um,
That was
okay, so that was a great workshop. If we have any other suggestions or if we want to change some things, please help us. Matthew, help us. Very funny. So we also have a couple other people here that are our regular Fridays. Sudani's here. We have Sophie. I heard Josh was an alternate for someone. I feel like he had a couple partners and then he didn't go through with Josh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like
Yeah.
Josh, Corey, Lay, and then 2 people from Love Island, South Africa were the 4 alternates that I heard of. And then Jordan, of course.
Okay, so Thana is saying, I thought that they filmed more stuff before another lockdown, which is why they had Casey and Kenny had more footage. I've heard that as well. So maybe they won't come back and like all the stuff that they filmed that we've seen is part of like pre-lockdown.
Interesting. I guess we'll just have to see. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Like I am excited from this past episode, and I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna sit here with my hands crossed, waiting for the next episode just to see what happens.
Would you classify Casey and Kenny as furniture siblings?
Yeah, I mean, right now, can I just say, with them out of the house, 1, I didn't necessarily remember that they were in the game, and 2, I feel like they would have gotten the same amount of confessionals that they did if they were in the game. So that's what I'm gonna say.
That's true. That's true. I think actually Casey was a little more animated in my opinion with her confessionals with her brother. So maybe she was just trying to show him like, this is what you do it. And like, this is how you do. It's my bro. Like she was a little bit more animated in my opinion. So maybe it was helping them out a bit. Hi, Addie's brain. So I feel like they're trying to act like it was a twist, but it was just COVID issues. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, I agree, Kira. Or Kiara. Or wait, hold on. Kiara. I'm gonna say Kiara. If it's wrong, can you just let me know how to say it phonetically? So the music for Banana and Nani's entrance was perfect. Agreed. I really, really liked the music. I thought it was pretty epic. In my opinion.
Yeah, all the music in this episode, I feel like they took a page out of All Stars, and they really put a lot of really solid soundtrack throughout the whole episode. So I really enjoyed that.
So do you know what though? I think that because I was watching on Canada's MTV, I didn't get all the music. Like I remember it having great epic music for Nani and Bananas, but I don't know if it was like Muzak, like royalty free music, and we got to hear it, or if it was something completely different. But I don't remember the soundtrack being anything epic at all.
I will agree with that. I had to get the clips because MTV.com for the US didn't have the episode up for a while. So I had to actually get all my clips on Thursday morning from MTV Canada, and I noticed that it was definitely different. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about our first person while we make our way through some of these comments. So let's start. Okay, let's just start with Tommy and Annelise. If you were to be rating Tommy and Annelise, where would you put them on a scale from Nelson's speech to loyal to the soil?
Oh man, this is difficult adding in Nelson's speech into all of this, but I want to say no ride, just die in the game. If they would have been in the alliance room alongside Jay, Michelle, Nerys, Johnny, before heading to the elimination, I would be more apt to put them up higher. We didn't get a lot of confessionals from them. They did get emotional when talking about each other and how much each other meant to themselves. I know that they are going to be working with Jay because Annelise is in Jay's TikToks
and they were almost dating at one point, I believe.
Yes. So I do think that they're working with each other. We just didn't get to see a lot of intention in the game, meaning I don't think that they're doing a whole lot noteworthy just yet. So I feel like they could be sent into the game, into the elimination easily, sooner rather than later if they don't win anything.
I'm gonna have to agree with you here, not to be boring, but like they kind of are middle of the road for the most part. Like when alliances and people were talking about what was going on in the episode, they were nowhere to be found, and we saw a little bit of a Ricky's alliance kind of coming together in that room. We see Johnny, we see Raven there, we see Amber be there, and so like things are happening, and with the right people for it to happen with, these two should have been right in there trying to establish something with all these players. What are they doing? Where are they? So they could easily be thrown in every single time, and I can pretty much see that happening because like no real blowback since they're not really making that many connections. So yeah, they're kind of middle of the road. No ride, just die in the game.
Yeah, we didn't even get much with Fessy. Like, because like you were saying that Casey's gone out of the game, you would think he want to lean into the big brother stuff, since he might be kind of low on numbers, but we didn't even get that. He's just trying to like hook up with Colleen still.
So is Fessy? I kind of think Fessy's here, to be honest. I mean, to me, everything that Fessy was doing was a little bit pussy chicken-esque. Like I know he acts like he's some big tough guy, and like I don't know if we talked about it, but all of his like tweets at Danny being like, "Yo, like NFL players, like they aren't good," and like I'm just like, Fessy, your eliminations that you won, one of them you played dirty, like rubbing sand in your friend's eyes. Like the other one, you were playing against a pole wrestler with a man that only has one hand, and the other one you broke the guy's finger almost. Like, and they're all physical one-on-one contact activities. So, and you are probably a foot taller than most of them. So it just was like, get out of here, Fessy. And without having the facial expression that I didn't see, that you're saying that he had when he heard that Casey was gone, that to me is a pussy chicken facial expression.
100% agree. This is his 4th season, I believe, and he had a very quiet first episode. You would think that he would be this villain guy. He would get more screen time, especially without Bananas and Nani there, without Casey, the reigning champ from last season via production and stuff. So it's like you would think he would have more confessionals, being a face that we all know. And majority of the confessionals went to all the rookies because they're a lot more animated. And I also don't trust his partner. She only got like one confessional, and it wasn't like spectacular. So we'll wait and see what's going on, but I just don't trust their duo right now.
Thana says that Fessy should be below Nelson's speech. Ooh. I mean, Nelson's speech was really bad. I guess we do mean Faisal.
Yeah.
So do we know as to why he's decided is he trying to rebrand himself? Does he not like the fact that his name was rhyming with messy? Why do you think he went back to his original name?
Maybe. I didn't even think about the messy Fessy stuff, but he'll always be messy Fessy. It's already in the ethos. Done. Yeah, it's over. It's stamped. Just be messy Fessy, man.
Like people in the game are going to introduce you to the rookies as Fessy. Like it's just like you've already established that that's who your name is in reality TV. You can't really expect to go back to your full name.
Yeah, 100%.
Just can't happen.
Come on now.
Oh, Saltine Cracker. She's not that boring, is she? Oh boy.
She didn't get a lot of screen time, so maybe she'll crack out of her shell a little bit, but right now, yeah, it's not.
He said it was to represent for his culture. Okay, respect, but it's it's I don't think it's going to catch on just because it's kind of like when you're a baby and you get a nickname and your entire family calls you by your nickname even though you have a real name. It's just kind of like you can't change people to something once they've gotten used to something. It's very difficult. So yes, I appreciate you wanting to be loyal to your culture, but I just don't know. I think it might have been too late for him to be able to establish that.
Yeah, he needed to do it a year 2.
He would have, year 2. Or when he was coming onto the challenge from Big Brother.
Yeah.
How does Fessy know his partner anyways? How do they meet? At the gym? I don't know, on Instagram? Like, they don't know each other, really, I don't think.
Yeah. She could be a friend of a friend and he just finds her hot kind of thing. But I will say that Mariah gives off the vibe that Fessy knows a lot, so he can teach me stuff. And then that also gives like, I don't want to say he's dominant towards her, but it's like she'll listen to whatever he says because whatever his word is golden. That's the kind of vibe I get off she gives off. And that just plays into Fessy's like way of thinking, like, yeah, I'll tell her to run, she'll run, and she'll trust me no matter what, kind of thing. And I think that's what Fessy really wants in a partner, is just somebody
That
that's just
listen
like,
to every word that he says so he can
yes,
break them.
sir, kind of thing.
Okay. So Tosh here is saying on Twitter, he said something like, since y'all gonna have my name in your mouths, I might as well represent my culture. See, like he just has to be such a douche about everything. He's so annoying. I agree, like good intention, but the way he said on Twitter was just really nasty. Yeah, I agree with that. Really agree. Hello, Kip and Claus. All right, who is next? Should we go? Let's go. They ended up being eliminated this episode. We have Kayla and Sam.
That was Nelson's speech. 100%.
Why?
They were terrible in that elimination. And
Oh.
also, so this is also one thing I want to point out is that Sam in the beginning was like, oh, this is Kayla's realm. She knows a lot more about the challenge, so I'm going to give her the reins. But then in the confessional, like 2 seconds after that, he's like, you have a real knack for losing the challenge. It's like, if you know she has a knack for losing the challenge, why don't you take the reins? Why don't you do something different? And then she's like telling him to be quiet for 2 weeks. Like, I feel like Sam's personality maybe could have brought in bonds or something, or brought in a social game that Kayla does not have, and Sam definitely doesn't have. But she's like, just be quiet, don't do anything, and I'll give you all the sexual favors. Yeah, it's like, come on, man. That's not how you win the game. That's not how you play the game. And yeah, it was just bad. It was bad gameplay all around.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'll agree with them being in Nelson's speech realm here, because for everything that you said, I think that Sam actually could have maybe been good. He does have the same energy as a Kyle. I know he's British, and I'm not just saying all British people are boisterous and likable, but he's boisterous and likable and British. He has all the good qualities that Bear has, like all of Bear's good qualities he has. And he would have probably been able to make things light of things, make things fun, like get to know people, be like, I've never played this game before. Like, I think that he could have been there in to the rookies camp, but Kayla was just playing super, I'm a vet. I don't want to talk to anybody. Very standoffish, not wanting to even interact with people. And even hearing when she gets like one of the people nominated by Johnny and Raven, she's like, oh, a big bad move. Like I'm just like, how is it a bad move? Like, you don't talk to anybody. Nobody's scared of you. You don't really have an alliance. Like, what's so, you're not scary, Kayla. So I agree. Nelson's speech, low, bottom. Who do we have next? Let's do. Well, let's do their opponents. So we have Devin and Tori. So the 4 people that were nominated to. Okay, actually, we didn't talk about this yet. What did you think about? Let me pull this away. Think about the whole new format of the zone. So basically, they 4 duos are going to be nominated by the winning team of the daily, and then one of them gets sent in. Out of the 3 that are left over, they have to pull daggers. One dagger says safe, and it chooses who they want to save.
I really enjoyed this one because you have to call out 4 teams. There's no real way to hide, because if you can call out one team, then it's going to be like whatever. Like, I can just pick on whoever and I don't have to get messy or anything. But with so little groups, now there's still 13 or 14 now teams in the season, you're calling out, at some point, you're going to have to put in somebody that is quote unquote part of your alliance at that point, which is going to be very interesting when that happens. I thought the execution of the daggers was incredible. Like, to have Tori and Devin, then Laurel and Jack pull the daggers and they said nothing on them, and they both thought that they were safe, was incredible. To then have the rookie team of Colleen and Kim pull that safe and then get to make the decision, it was awesome. I really love the execution of it, and I feel like this is going to just be super messy as the season goes on.
Some people are standing up for Kayla here. So I like Kayla. She gets a bad rep, in my opinion. But Kip and Klaus says Kayla doesn't get a bad rep. She's just bad. That's the rep.
Dang.
I'm not a fan of Kayla personally. So I agree with some people here that, yeah, she thinks she has more clout than she actually does. I mean, she probably was coming off a bit of a high, doing so well on All Stars 3. But I agree with you, Taj. Kayla's social game sucks. And she needs to come in with alliances. And that's kind of what happened with her on All Stars 3, is that she happened to be in a room with Veronica, who is queen of like making alliances and keep getting numbers on her side. And so she just so happened to be in that group, and then is the most physically adept person on the season, probably, or at least one of. And so she was able to really ride that alliance for a really long time. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really sad to see her go. I don't remember if I drafted. I hope I didn't draft her. I would have drafted her.
Not in
Not in ours? Okay, good.
I was trying to give you them, but alas, I could not give you a sabotage. So, but I do want to mention this. On episode 0, during the Ready to Ride launch special, when looking at that table, I was thinking this is exactly who Kayla wants to come into the game with. However, if she's not coming in with Aneesa already established in the game, Jordan, who she's played with and played alongside of, as well as Nany and Veronica, I had a feeling that she was going to be, unless she could put on the charm or Sam was going to be able to put on the charm, she was going to be in a very tight spot early on in the game, because she doesn't have players that she's played with multiple seasons on the cast initially.
Like Nany would have helped her out,
yeah,
but she didn't get there yet.
Nothing.
Like, she would have been in a really good position if she was able to make it past like everybody coming in, because like we mentioned, she's going to have Veronica, and then Veronica, that means she's going to have Jarrell. It's a good person to have on your side as well. Then have the numbers with Nany being part of the Holy Trinity, and then Bananas, and then wherever they decide to go. So if Casey was still in the game, Casey and Kenny would have been there, and then Kenny, that means okay, that Fessy and Mariah would have been, so she would have had a really solid chunk of people to be working with.
Exactly.
But literally not one of those people are in the game right now.
Nope.
Not one.
Literally, Nany and her just pass each other.
Ships in the wind.
Yeah, exit,
or at
entrance, done.
Yeah. So Prince is saying, hi, Prince. Kayla's plan was to lay low in a game where she was already isolated. What? No, she shouldn't. She's just not good. She's never been good at the game, you know. I think she's beautiful. I think she's in shape, but she's never been good at the strategy part of it, or even really the physical eliminations part of it. She's not been that great. She's been mediocre. Maybe better on All Stars, though. Okay, so who did I say we had next? We're going to do Devin and Jordan, right? Or
Tori.
Devin and Tori. I think I'm going to put Devin and Tori at dead team walking, because I feel that now that the Band-Aid is off, that they might be easy out of the vets to be thrown in over and over and over again, not wanting to ruffle any of the other vets' feathers. I mean, other vets are probably going to be thrown in, but I just feel like if the rookies get power, they're going to get thrown in over and over again. Somebody, I think it was Johnny, was saying what, they're the king and queen of the challenge. I'm like, who said that? But because of that, I think that they might just get used to be thrown in over and over again, because nobody's going to want to make other people mad. So that's why I think that they're dead team walking, but you can convince me otherwise, I'm sure.
I would go one tier higher to stirring the pot. I think I have a little bit more trust in Devin and Tori, just because they are a vet team. And if they go into an elimination, especially against a rookie team, I feel like they have a better odds of coming out on top.
Okay.
I thought that they did I mean, yes, they were going against Kayla and Sam in a puzzle, which isn't that hard to beat them. At least Kayla in a puzzle, and Devin has this in his house. It's his coffee table. But I felt like they worked really well with each other. They stayed level-headed. They know how to communicate with each other. I was questioning how ride or die they were, or how much of a best friends they were, especially after last season, after Devin kept on pulling the friendship card at every single stop with every single buddy. But they actually look really solid as a duo. And I think that Tori has the muscle where Devin has the brains a lot more. And Tori's not like dumb. She was actually killing the puzzles in the finals last season. Like, she was number one for the women on the puzzles last season. So I would say stirring the pot, yes, they you don't know where they stand with the rookies, but with Bananas and Nani coming into the season, you also will have Jordan and Anissa coming into the season at some point, and that's going to be another number for them, as well as Darrell and Veronica, who, like you said, will be OGs all the way. So I just have a little bit more faith in them. So I would put them in the second tier, not the first tier, but
I'm being convinced here. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you feel as Tori and Dory? Should I just call them Dory or
Finding
Tevin?
Dory?
Are they dead team walking, or would you think that they're stirring the pot?
Oh no, they're the two Daves. Remember, they're the two Daves.
Oh, right, Dave and Dave.
That was such a dumb story.
Yeah, it wasn't funny.
Why did we need to know that? I don't care.
No, it wasn't funny at all. Well, I think that you convinced me for the fact that they do have numbers coming in, and I know we see the scene with Tori talking to Jordan, being like, "You knew I was here, and like I didn't know you were coming," and like, you know, rattled her. She's still going to work with him. Like, she's not going to make it ostracize him. Like, she's going to take any numbers that she needs, and she's working with her best friend. So I think that you're right. She's going to really be able to gather some numbers with all the people that are coming into the game. So I'll agree with you. Stirring the pot will bump them up this episode. Okay. I mean, I guess we'll just put Kenny and Casey down here in Nelson's speech. I mean,
I don't know what else to do. Yeah.
I don't, me neither. What do we have to say about the speech creator himself, Mr. Nelson? Nelson and Nerys.
How do you forget your age? Like, how do you forget your age? It's the first question of the daily challenge. How do you forget your age? Oh my gosh. I love Nerys. I love that she is unapologetically going after what she wants, which is Johnny. She is going to start a ton of messes. And I've been waiting for her to make her challenge debut. Like, I'm happy she's on here. I don't care how she got on here. I'm happy Nelson, her ex, I'm glad they're friends enough to be on this season together and do it. I just don't have the biggest faith in them just yet. Like, I think they'll be able to like dodge eliminations, but I don't know about them. I guess.
Are they at Nelson's speech level of gameplay this episode? I mean, forgetting your age is horrible. And the fact that we got a producer chirping Nelson about the fact that he hasn't won a daily in 51 dailies, 52 if we're including this one, I believe. Yes. Like, the producers are chirping him. Whoa.
I feel like they're playing it up because maybe he wins one this season and it breaks it, and they want everybody to be hyper aware of like, hey, he hasn't won one since Vendettas, which is 31. That's season 31, middle of 31. It was 8/9 on the wiki page of the of his profile is 8/9 in car crash in Vendettas. That's a long time to not win a daily. That's incredible.
It's a very long time. So Taylor thinks the tier should be no ride, just die for Nerys' airport showbiz. That's messy. Like, she's messy.
She is
I
messy.
mean, I'm into it. We already knew that she was messy, ready to pop off. Messy. Like, her and her bestie. I think she still lives with her, Deandra. Like, they were both fighting over Nelson at one point on X on the Beach, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I was even a little bit uncomfortable seeing when Nelson goes around the corner and sees her already making out with Johnny. Like, even I, who like is always looking for like the makeout points, was like, whoa, oh my God, you know. Yeah. So she's gonna be messy.
And I wonder if Nelson was trying to like talk up Raven while they were making out in the hallway, because we do get that talk like he's talking to Raven, and I was like, are you trying to like like swap partners here? Like, did you want to try to like? I mean, she's a very gorgeous girl. Like, and then she was just like shutting him down. Like, I'm really into Johnny kind of thing. And Nelson's just like sitting there, like, all right.
I
Like,
mean, Nelson though he wears on you, so like eventually maybe like if she complains to him enough that he'll like eventually.
but there are seeds of Olivia and Nelson, so I'm
Oh,
here
that's
for it.
true. That's
I'm
true.
here
So where
for
are
it.
we placing Nelson and Nerys? Do we agree with No Ride Just Die?
Oh, okay. I mean, I was either gonna do that one or PC, the Pussy Chicken
You're not going to
one.
say pussy chicken on YouTube?
No, I'll say it. I'll say it. But it's either one of those two. I would put it under just because it was so bad.
I
But
think
I
it's
do think
pussy
that they
chicken.
but I will say that they do work well with each other. Like she wasn't mad. Like Nerys wasn't mad at all at Nelson for getting his age. But if we go a little bit further into the game and he's still making those mistakes, they're gonna add up over time. Like, especially if they start dwindling, I can see Nerys being like, dude, get it together. Like, we need to win. So we're not thrown in because we don't have enough people here.
Matthew, you are onto something right now. So Matthew says, now that Nerys has finally made her debut, we need Kiki Cooper next. Missed opportunity not pairing her with Devin here. I think she hates Devin right now, though. So maybe on another Rivals, right? Because they're enemies at this point. I think. No.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think that they are not friends. I think he's gonna have to be Pussy Chicken. I kind of wanted him at his own speech level because, I told someone was saying in the chat, like, you forgot your birthday. I've forgotten my birthday as well, but in the game, like where there's 3 questions and you have to, and the number is very important, I would get my birthday correct in that time. Not like when I'm meeting someone like, oh, how old are you? Like I'm whatever. Like this is something where you have 3 questions to answer to get your own birthday wrong or age wrong. It just, for me, it's a Pussy Chicken or Nelson speech level of offense, in my opinion.
I also
So
wonder how long was. I guess I need to listen to the official challenge podcast because I wonder how long was the daily challenge that he never like thought twice about like when was my birthday? When was my last birthday? Oh yeah, I'm 33. Like, did that never occur to him? Did he just keep on being like 32? I'm 32. Like, I want to know now how long it actually took. If
well,
it took
his
like
birthday
5
is
minutes,
in, I believe, November. So he did have a good 5 months or so, probably 6 months, maybe to be reminded of how old he was.
yeah, true. Yeah,
Anyways,
true.
I definitely have done it before in the past, but I would hope that I wouldn't do it when the daily's on the line.
True.
In my opinion. Okay, who do we have next? Let's do. Okay, how about Kim and Colleen? So Kim and Colleen, Kim was from the Mole, or Colleen was from the Mole, Germany, and Kim, you were correct, was from a dating show. The only thing that I really saw about Colleen was the fact that she wanted to lie about the fact that she was on the Mole and say that she was on a love show. It seems like she may allow herself to get involved with Faisal. I don't know if that's going to be good for her or not, because it doesn't seem like the people that he hooks up with do too well in the game. But they definitely had luck on their side you need a little bit of luck for all these game shows. So they were able to pull the safe dagger and avoid having to compete against Kayla and Sam. So where are we putting our blonde ambition duo?
The best hair in the house, I think, combined. I don't know. I'll be in the middle of No Ride, Just Die, or Pussy Chicken. I think those two are gonna be my like default.
I get it.
Where if I don't necessarily, we didn't get to see a whole lot. Like you were saying, the only time that we got to see him was when they were talking about lying about her previous show, and then when she decided to throw in Devin and Tori, which I think was a great move on their part. I loved it. I love that they threw the 2 vets in to the elimination against a vet and a rookie in Kayla and Sam. But I want to see more. I need to see more from them to really get a good vibe from them, because I just didn't get it from from this episode, and she is going to get involved with Fessy, it seems like, and I just don't think it's going to work out for her.
It's not going to be good for a game because he will just drop her like a hot potato for sure.
1,000%.
Like, oh, Mary saying that Fessy is a good-looking fella, but that personality. Do you and Fessy have the same birthday? I don't know. I think you might actually. But also your birthday's coming up, ride or die. Are you doing anything special for your birthday on, I believe, what day is it today? It's on Sunday?
No. I am gonna go out to a Cajun restaurant, which I'm very excited for. It's my favorite place to eat. So I'm looking forward to that. But I actually got in touch with family last weekend, and we went out to eat all together, and we celebrated my sister's birthday, which was last month, and then my birthday, because it's like hers is late September and then mine is mid-October. So it's kind of like that weird vibe of like, do we celebrate both times or do we just do it all collectively? And so we had a really nice time out hanging out, and yeah, it was really fun.
Sweet. I love birthdays. I wish that it's like with this whole new world of like, I want to be like everybody's birthday, but literally everybody lives everywhere around the world. So
Yeah.
Not possible in this new world that we live on. So Matthew has breaking news. Kiki, I can't say her name. Kiki Cooper liked Devin's Instagram 2 hours ago.
Matthew's on it.
Interesting, Matthew. How old is Drew turning? Is Drew going to tell us? Does he know? Will you be able to make the transition from this birthday and how old you'll be on Sunday?
I'm turning the big 3-0.
Really? Are you going to? That might be hard for you to do, actually.
Dirty 30. I'm turning.
You know, you're stepping up onto the third floor, huh? Okay.
Flirty 30 is I like to call it.
Flirty 30. I think I did a dirty 30 party and we dressed up. Really dirty. Really dirty. Okay, so him and Colleen for me. I think Pussy Chicken, because they were scared to go. Like they didn't really want to compete. I mean, like I'm happy that they didn't go in because like it was obviously more interesting of a battle knowing that a vet team was going to go home. But they seemed pretty terrified. So yeah, they would go Pussy Chicken. But they got saved in, with their good luck. So that's why they're not Nelson's speeches level of tier here.
Yeah, and they did make a semi-alliance with Johnny and Raven. Like Johnny was like, hey, if we do a four-person alliance during the deliberation. So I have to give it to them. That's where it's like I can't put them in Nelson's speech at the moment.
That's true. They're doing a little bit of work there for sure. Another person who we don't hear much about this episode, Nom and Emmy kind of show up at the daily when we learn that Casey and Kenny are not going to be competing anymore. We had one confessional of them explaining why they're ride or dies, and
yeah.
I didn't even really get it. I was like, they don't know each other. These two people do not know each other. That's all I thought.
No. I heard at the beginning of the season that they have the same management company, and I wonder if Nam was like, hey, I'm getting the call for the challenge. Do you know anybody that you can refer to me that has done reality TV? And she's done a ton since she was like, I think 17. So yeah, she was just like thrown in there. I do want to point this out. I want to put him at Nelson's speech, not just because we only got one confessional from them, but in the Ready to Ride launch special, they were the only couple not talked about at the round table, which is not a good sign. Not a good sign. Just throwing that out there.
Like I guess it's kind of spoilers, not spoilers. Like I don't know what spoilers anymore, but like we had already heard that they weren't even going to make it past episode 1, which they might not. Like who knows if like episode 2 happens and like they're out of the gate. Like who knows? So the fact that they're not building any sort of storyline around them, but we have a lot of rumors around them, it's just not great. I mean, I really like Nom. I've wanted him to kind of come on and like have a good showing, and he just keeps on getting the short end of the stick. And you need a little bit of luck in these games, and he doesn't get it. And his unlucky self is going to be, from me, Nelson's speech level.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Sorry, Nom. Emmy, I don't know you, but sorry. Um, what about our pussy chicken man of the hour, Turbo and his girlfriend Tamara? Where are you going to put these two?
I I am biased towards anything Turbo, but I don't get their dynamic. I don't understand Turbo and Tamara's dynamic at all. I think in the Ready to Ride launch special, I keep on bringing it up, but she was like,
Sure.
I got to bring out the softer side of Turbo. She is silent every time Turbo is getting into an argument with somebody. I don't think that they're on the same page. I just don't think that they're going to communicate well. Turbo's already said that he would rather it be a solo competition back in War of the Worlds. So now it's a duo competition. And then we've already seen he gets into a fight with Nani and Laurel and Devin and probably way more people down the line.
I
So
feel like, do I have him on this draft? Because I feel like give me those points if I do,
I
please.
do. I have Turbo.
Ah, darn it. So Chris says their dynamic is off because they ain't dating. Do you think that they're dating or not dating, Drew?
I don't know. It's hard to see. It's hard to see them being affectionate with each other. I feel like we've seen more kisses between Amber and Chauncey than than Turbo and Tamara. I feel like we've already seen way more makeouts with Amber and Chauncey than we will see with Turbo and Tamara. So I
Well,
don't know. I'm skeptical of it too.
she calls him her vicious Teddy. Um, okay.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Do we know how they met?
No, I have no idea.
Me neither. So Danny says, I feel like Turbo got more insufferable since his last season. I'm concerned for his behavior moving forward in this season. I mean, I feel like he must have learned his lesson a little bit, being kicked off of War of the Worlds 2. But I think that he is going to be popping off still at everyone until he gets humbled in some sort of way. So whether it's he goes down to an elimination, like everybody might be throwing him in because we see that Nerys and Nelson is like, oh, you want to go in and you want to take everybody out in elimination? Sure, we'll send you
Yeah.
in. So I think a lot of people will just throw him in because they're not scared to throw him in. We don't know if he's going to be actually good at dailies with a partner. You know, he that great with Nani? I don't remember.
Yeah, he was great with Nani. But Nani, I think, was super communicative
Patient. Mhm.
and patient. And she was
Knows the show.
exactly yeah, exactly.
Lovable Nikki says Samara knows better than to step between Turbo and anyone else. I mean, I wouldn't be dating this guy, but wait, did I miss when they said they were dating? I thought he said they were friends.
I heard dating.
Would you call it your friend your vicious Teddy?
I mean, maybe I'll start and see how it feels.
I mean, Drew, forget Ride or Dies. You're my vicious Teddy.
Okay, maybe it's a little weird.
It seems a little bit more boyfriend girlfriendy.
Yeah. And I will say I believe we would have seen Fessy or Faisal coming at Turbo the way he did CT and the way Jordan did to Turbo in War of the Worlds 2, wanting him to get disqualified. But because of what happened last season with Josh, I don't think Faisal's going to even attempt it. Like, he doesn't want to get to that level. He doesn't want to accidentally put hands on him or something to get him sent out of the game again. So I think Faisal's going to be more on his best behavior when it comes to fights and put all of that energy into makeouts and all that other stuff. But I think he would have tried it. I think he would have tried it because, like you were saying, he's intimidated by Turbo and he doesn't want to face him in elimination. He doesn't want Turbo getting too close to the finals. So I think he would have tried it, but because of what happened last season with Josh, a friend, he doesn't want to do that with Turbo at all and have that.
I feel that. So Chris might have some tea here. Turbo wanted to bring her brother, but had to switch to her once it became male-female teams. They aren't together. Laugh my ass off. Her actual boyfriend exposed all on Instagram.
Super interesting.
Tea. Okay.
Why not establish that on the show? That's so weird.
Well, maybe because he doesn't know her that well. I don't
Well,
know.
I feel like she could have said something like, "Oh, well, we know each other. We're family
He's friends
friends,"
with my
kind of thing.
boyfriend
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
brother or whatever it was. But like
That's so weird. Such a weird dynamic.
Nani was the turbo whisperer, but it doesn't know it might be the turbo yeller this season. Like I don't know if she's gonna be able to tame that vicious Teddy.
Yeah, she wasn't able to whisper to him in War of the Worlds 2, so that's not a good sign.
I'm not sure about PDA in Turkey. But okay, that could be fair. Like, I mean, I don't see Turbo necessarily being a PDA type person,
Mhm. Agreed.
but I also see him though if he has a girlfriend to kind of claim her. Like I feel like he'd be a claim her type, like have an arm around her or like
Mhm.
around her neck. I'm just kidding. But like I feel like he would claim his person, so he hasn't been doing any like claiming stuff in my opinion.
Yeah. Agreed.
Who do we have next?
Where do we put him?
Oh, we're putting. Oh, wait, right. That's true. Um, man, he has to go high because he's definitely going to be involved in a lot of stuff. Maybe he's up there with Devin and Tori with stirring the pot. For the fact that he is just calling people out left, right, and center. I wouldn't put him at loyal to the soil because he's not loyal really to anybody but himself. So I just don't
Yeah.
see him really doing a good job with making any friendships or alliances. Um, I do think that he's physically capable of staying a while, but he's always calling people out. So I would say that's kind of stirring the pot, like involved in the action. People are talking about him, people are scared of him. And
Mhm.
he does have a category here. So that's something.
Yeah, I agree. I would say stirring the pot because he's definitely stirring the pot already, starting drama. But I also think that, like you said, he has that intimidation factor. He can say he's going to go into elimination, every single elimination, go against every single person, but not every single person is going to want to take that shot. You know,
Yeah.
like I wonder who the first person will be who will be like, yeah, he wants to go in. I'll send him into the draw or whatever. Like I'm waiting for that person because I don't think anybody's like, hey, yeah, send Turbo in. Like, I want to take him on. No, nobody's going to say
Mm-mm.
that. Like, come on now.
Not at all. So totally agree with you there, or you agree with me. Let's
I agree with you.
do what about Chauncey and Amber? You've kind of mentioned them already. What do you think about them two and their positioning so far?
I love Amber and Chauncey.
They're a good
Amber,
duo, I think.
Amber's coming in and she just seems a little bit more confident. I don't know if that's because this is her third consecutive season or it's because she has that support system baked into the season when she doesn't normally have it. Like we didn't see that last season. She came in, she wanted to trust people because that's all she could do. She couldn't just go off and be with the rookies because they were looking at her as a vet. She couldn't go with the vets because everybody was like, "Ugh, we don't trust you," or anything like that. Now she has Chauncey and then she has that alliance. I do want to see them win because they were making some blunders in that daily challenge as well as Nelson was. So I I don't know. I want to put them in I one or two, like the first two tiers. I feel like they're definitely loyal. They're definitely loyal to each other. I mean, there's no doubt about
I
it.
think I'm putting them up at loyal to the soil because like we got a few examples of that. Firstly, one thing that was always bothering me about Amber's gameplay, especially her second season, was that she was just so worried about what everybody else was doing, what Casey was saying, what Casey was doing, what Fessy was saying, what Fessy was doing, and she was just kind of whining, in my opinion, about all that was going on. Yes, some of it was warranted and valid, but how she handled it for me, just I was just annoyed with her for it. But I feel like the energy that she's bringing now that she has the support of somebody that really cares about her, I like this new side of Amber. Like I like this confident Amber. I like that she's saying like every girl in here could be naked and he'd only be looking at me. I like that confidence about her and that they're not afraid to be open and affectionate. And then I also like that she got into that alliance with Johnny. Like she's been on the kind of an outcast to the veterans, and she sees right now that our rookie got some power, and hey, I can gather some numbers. I've played this game before. They will listen to what I have to say, most likely, or want to hear at least my insight or input. And I think it's going to put her in a really good position. So I would put them up at the top there with Loyal to the Soil, because she has a loyal partner, and I think that she's building a loyal army to work with.
I also want to say that I'm really happy that Jay and Michelle are on this season, because I feel like they've had the same kind of trajectory as Amber has, especially Jay, who hasn't really gotten the respect that he deserves in the challenge. He beat CT, but he kept on getting thrown in. And the same thing in Double Agents. He was trying to make some moves, and then he got caught up in Teresa's game and he got bit in the butt for it. So I think that there's a lot more understanding in that group that she is in with now than she'll ever get with the vets at this point. So I'm very happy that she's been able to find that support system in this game and get some numbers.
Get some numbers. Get people that want to work with you. Absolutely. So when you're talking about Jay and Michelle, where would you place them this episode?
I would put them high. I'd put them right next to Amber and Chauncey. I feel like they do have a history with each other. And yes, they had that funny confessional of like Jay interrupting Michelle, being like, "We got communication problems," and she's like, "See, you're already cutting me off when I'm already trying to talk about this." But I think that no matter what's going to happen, they have an understanding with each other. They have numbers in the game, and we talked about the Annelise connection. Nelson and Jay have done a ton with each other outside of the game, and then now they have this new alliance, and their strategic is all get out. I think no matter how hard it's going to get for them, they'll be able to put aside their emotions with each other if it gets bad and just focus on the game. They come from Survivor and they know what they need to do and how strategic they need to be. And I love the intensity that Jay's coming in for this season, because Michelle's like, he takes not that much seriously at some points, yet she does. And I feel like that balance is really going to help them out on the season. I'm really high after the first episode and seeing them be able to like have their footing in a game that not really US Survivor players have been able to have so far in the game. And I'm just happy that them two are at least being able to work together on a challenge. And I just feel like they're there. This is their season to go far, and I'm like rooting for them.
Absolutely. I'm going to agree with you here too. And they were very, very close to getting the win of the daily. The first daily of season 38 was like seconds away from them. And so why are you laughing?
Oh, so close. So
close. So close. But I do think that they are going to be in the best position that they've been since they've kind of made their debut on the challenge. They both have a lot of good knowledge. I think that Michelle is really great with the strategy portion of it and like playing like the social side of things. And I think that Jay is going to be a really good ally for her. I know that they're trying to make it seem in the confessionals that they don't communicate well, but I think that they do communicate well enough, better than Kayla and Sam, we'll say. So I have high hopes for this team, especially since they have rookies that are not willing to be picked off. And so if they have rookies that are willing to play ball, that was what was her biggest upset with last season, when she's like, I wanted to gather the numbers, but they were all playing too scared and they just allowed us all to be picked off. So I think that she's going to be in a better position, and they're already pulling the shots or making shots like right now. So I think that they're in a good spot. I agree. They're loyal to the soil. I'll put them up at the top too.
Yeah, they definitely have their fingers in a lot of holes this season.
Is that what they're trying to say? Was it them that was saying that in the commercial?
Yeah, that was them.
Okay.
They're like, what do we do? What do we put our fingers in? And Jay's like, holes?
She's like, I don't like that way that sounds.
So weird.
What about the recipient of Turbo's fury, Laurel and Jack? How do we feel about them?
I love Laurel. Jack is coming in with intent. My only thing is, I feel like Laurel's intensity could get the best of their team. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Laurel is going to get very competitive at every single thing. And if they don't win a daily challenge at some point early, she is going to unleash it on her partner more so than anybody else. And so I feel for Jack if that happens, but I would agree. It was either going to be stir the pot because Laurel and Jack both like to stir the pot. Jack
Mm,
was
he
trying to
did stir the pot, and he nearly
throw
stirred
Colleen.
him into elimination.
If
Like,
that got back to Colleen, maybe it would have.
yeah.
Maybe she would have changed her mind. But I would either do 2 or 3 on the tiers: the dead team walking or stirring the pot.
Okay. What do I think? I know. I think I'm gonna. Well, they are kind of stirring the pot, but I think more so dead team walking. As much as like I love Laurel, I love that Laurel's back. I want to see what she's going to do this season. I don't. The fact that they were a team that was thrown in immediately by the rookies, it just makes me wonder what they are doing wrong, or what are they being standoffish? Are they not talking to people? Like, why were they chosen? I guess maybe they didn't have another rookie team or vet team to choose from, I guess. But they didn't choose Amber and Chauncey, right? Because Amber and Chauncey kind of ingratiated themselves with the rookies. And so they just didn't do that much work for me. And so I'm curious as to whether or not people are going to want to throw them in again, especially if they don't win the daily or whatnot. So
yeah,
I
true.
think
And
that's
I mean,
walking.
you bring up a really good point that they chose Laurel and Jack because Laurel is a vet. When Johnny and Raven could have picked Emmy and Nam, would have been an easy lob to throw in there as a safe choice to throw in there. They bypassed Fessy and Mariah, who is also a vet rookie pairing. I mean, they passed over quite a bit to center themselves on Laurel and Jack. So that's a really good point.
Well, and also though, like, I think that Jack is a better social player than, well, it seems like it anyways. It's like Jack is a little bit the Laurel whisperer, but he's also seems like he's able to kind of get a little catty. Like he's gonna go for the jugular. You know, the fact that he was saying in their deliberation that, like, hey, Colleen's already lying to you. He's already putting that information out there, and he was just freely just doing that. And so I'm also curious if some of that's gonna come around and bite him in the butt. So I do think that he is really great at working with Laurel, and she talks about how he's kind of part of her family. His mom thinks of him as son. But I think that when things will get a lot more stressful, I think that team is going to fall apart, to be honest.
100%.
So,
100%.
yeah, dead team
We've seen
walking.
Laurel in the challenge lose a friendship before in the matter of an episode. So, I mean, maybe she's changed, but I feel like that competitive Laurel is still in there. It's just hibernating right now.
I mean, I feel like we saw a little clip of her like freaking out in a boat or something. Maybe I'm making it up, but she's definitely going to freak out. Let's talk about Horacio and Olivia, a rookie team. I wasn't really able to tell how they knew each other. They said that was when they were younger, but I couldn't tell what the place was. Could you pick up on what that was?
I don't know about the place, but I definitely know the year was 2014. So they've known each other for like 8 years, which is like solid, very solid. And they said that they've done Spartan races together. They've trained together.
That's cool.
So it feels like there is that level of connection there.
And how do you feel about people calling her GI Barbie? Do you think that that's going to stick?
Maybe. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see because, again, we didn't get too much of them. I do like their dynamic. I like what they bring. Horacio seems like he is completely in the good guys squad. Like, if we had like another like Inferno, he would definitely be on the good guys team. He's like trying to be like the next Landon, or just be like super like I'm here for the right reasons and will never lie to anybody. And Olivia just is like, that's so cute for us, but it's going to come to a time where we're going to have to lie and we're going to have to get dirty. And I don't know. I love their dynamic. I think they're fun. I think they're going to be a team to watch out for. But I do think that they need to win. They are a rookie team. They're coming in late. Yes, they know Johnny. But Johnny made some moves this episode. And if it could be bad, because if Tori and Devin went into power and Johnny nominated them, I mean, they could be nominated right next to him because they're quote unquote like friends. They know each other. I've seen Horacio's Instagram, and he's seen working out with Johnny, and they're really close. So I feel like that's not that could be bad. So I would say I think they're loyal to the soil to each other, but in the game wise, I think they're a dead team walking if they don't win into power soon.
I think I'm gonna put them a little higher. Like they're not necessarily stirring the pot, but I feel like from what you're saying, that it seems like people want to work with Olivia from what I've seen after the game. And so
Mhm.
like we see I remember seeing Michelle Fitzgerald being like, "Oh my god, thank God for Olivia because she's showing me how to fix my photo, like my promo photo, because like I look hideous in that promo photo." So like they have like that like girl banter up from the challenge, like let me make your photo look good. And then you're saying that he's kind of vibing with you said Bananas or
I
Jordan?
I didn't say
Jordan?
anything.
Who
I
did
didn't
you
say
say that he
anything
was
about
working out
anything.
with? Sorry.
Oh, Johnny,
Johnny.
not
Which
Bananas.
Johnny
Johnny Middlebrooks.
Middlebrook or whatever. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I was thinking when you said Johnny, I was thinking Bananas when you said that. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, no.
interesting.
For
But
reference,
like,
Bananas is Bananas. Johnny, I know it's going
yeah.
to get very confusing. I've confused multiple people on that already, and I feel bad. But it's like I don't know what else. Johnny M. Like I don't know what else to say.
No, it's totally fine. It's just that I'm not used to having a Johnny other than Johnny Riley on the show, and this
Yeah,
Johnny's last name is too long.
it's like 10 seasons ago that we've had two Johnnies or Johns on the challenge season together.
So I just think that they are going to be, like Julia's saying here, a rookie team to watch. It seems that they're likable. Look at, she's already kind of flirting with Nelson. I think that's a
Mhm.
good thing. I know that Nelson's not necessarily great at the challenge, but he still is numbers, right? He's still like will be able to be a good part of an alliance. So Nelson likes his partner Olivia, so they might be safe. Exactly. Exactly. So I think that, I don't know, I think a little bit higher. You said what, Dead Team Walking? I want to put them up a little bit.
Okay.
Is that too high? No, maybe Dead Team Walking.
No, it's
They haven't proven themselves yet this episode. So let's put them Dead Team Walking.
I just think
Room for
if
growth.
yeah, room for growth, and I think the definition I was going off of is if they don't win, then they're going to be in the elimination, but they still have that connection where they're just not like completely falling apart at the moment.
Hmm.
Is the kind of like
And
the vibe
I
I get.
also like that they seem like they're excited to be there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And I
yeah.
like that they're just like they want to do well. They're so happy to be on the challenge, and so I like people that want to be there. So that's
Their
fun too.
their chemistry and positivity with each other in those confessionals, it's just something else. Like you could just definitely tell that they've had the rapport with each other. Like it's so nice. It's so nice to see.
Absolutely. So pretty much the last team here that we can really say anything about will be Johnny and not Bananas and Raven. I personally think that they're gonna have to go to the top of the leaderboard here. I think that they did make a few mistakes, but the fact that they were willing to take the shot at the vets, I think it gave confidence to all the rookies to want to come together and work together. And because if a vet had won power in the beginning and made them all run scared, and then they're just be kind of clinging on just to try to stay week to week, they would have lost their advantage. And so the fact that they were able to strike first and they hit, I think is really, really good for their longevity in the game and for them gathering numbers with the rookies. So I'm putting Johnny and Raven in the loyal to the soil top spot.
I wouldn't, just because we learn more about their team dynamic and their history with each
That's
other,
true.
and that scares me. I feel that this is night one. This is episode one. You should be at your best. You should be at your strongest
That's true.
on your ride or die. And I just feel like as the game goes on and how much closer Johnny gets to Nerys, I just feel like
Ugh.
that's just going to really separate them. And I mean, I don't want to drop them
Doesn't
way
Nerys end
low.
up going over to Bananas later, though?
I think she goes over to Jordan
Oh, Jordan.
at
Yeah, she's in
some
the bed with
point.
Jordan. Yeah. Okay.
But I
Sorry.
wouldn't be surprised if she flirted with Bananas and who knows at this point. I feel like I don't want to drop them too heavy because they did win. And like you were
Mhm.
saying, they did get some numbers. They are making a mark and they are getting that connection and that trust within the rookies. So I would say stirring the pot would
Okay,
be
I'm
where
into it.
I would be cool with putting them in. And I am interested to see what would happen next week. If they don't win into power, I want to see who does and how
Mhm.
well this power move of naming
Plays
those
out.
4 teams plays out to where could we see them in the future, like what will they be instantly in the draw, or maybe they have Jay and Michelle win and they'll be safe yet again and they'll be able to like rule the roost a little bit longer. So but I do think that they did a great job winning and naming those 4 teams. So I would say stirring the pot just because their team dynamic, and
Yeah.
I'm really worried to see what's going to come from that.
You're totally right. It kind of slipped my mind. The whole Nerys of it all, the whole not necessarily jealousy, but like he really misled Raven. I think if Raven knew that they weren't going to be trying to rekindle some sort of relationship or something definitively,
Yeah.
maybe she would have chosen not to come on this show with him in this capacity. Like I feel like there's a few unspoken truths that she could have maybe been told in advance. And so I think it's going to be messy. And that messiness is kind of like stirring the pot, we'll say. Yeah, I feel like they are going to be in the middle of a lot of drama. So I agree with you. They can't be at the top. Stirring the pot works for me.
Yeah.
Do
And
you want to do anything with, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, like, do you feel like it's a little bit like even more misleading that he asks her particular to be a part of a season called Ride or Die? Like, I trust you for $1 million. I want you there. I can only trust you. I called you, and then come on the show and start making out with another woman in front of her. And it's like, come on, dude. And I also think that after watching Johnny on some of his other shows, he's not the type of guy that like closes any doors. He wants to leave every door cracked just in case. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just
Yes,
don't.
Johnny, you are the drama. You are the villain. You are the drama.
Johnny
um,
Drama. That should be his nickname on
Okay, so
the
we'll
challenge.
just call him Drama then. So Drama and Bananas.
All my Entourage Pete folks out there, Johnny Drama.
Johnny Drama. Oh, I forgot about Entourage. Okay, so do we want to place these last 3 here? So Johnny, Bananas, and Nani, Jarrell and Veronica, Jordan and Anissa. Obviously, we didn't see them. Do they just stay off the board? Do we put them in Nelson's speech? What do you think?
I feel like we could probably put Bananas and Nani up on the board. Not yet Jordan and Anissa and Darrell and Veronica, even though we all know their history. And we could probably name every season that they've done together as a pairing on all those teams and know exactly like maybe they're not as ride or die as this season would like us to believe.
Yeah.
But since we saw Bananas, since we saw Bananas and Nani at the end of the episode, I guess we could place them on the board knowing their history with each other. And I mean, I would go straight to the top with this one with Loyal to the
Okay.
Soil.
I mean, yes, like the fact that they've run a final together. They've been on multiple seasons together. They've dated. She's flirted with them. Like it up until she met Casey, she still had a thing with Johnny if they were ever on a season, both single or whatever. So I do think that they are loyal to the soil for each other. I do think that they're ride or dies for the most part. Like obviously he pisses her off and vice versa, but I do think that they will work together, and I think that this could be her best shot at winning a final. I mean, hopefully if Casey comes back though, because like her, that's like a really strong number for her to be having in the game.
Yes.
But like she really has a good partner for this to happen. And so, and I think they work well together, and Nani is a good partner, especially when she has another good partner. So I could see them running the game. So yeah, loyal to the soil. I agree.
Yes. I mean, that wasn't as messy. That wasn't as messy as I thought it was going to be, but it's only episode 1. I think
Only
as we go
episode
along,
1.
then we'll get into it a little bit more. But I love our, like, I almost like it's symmetrical. I almost want to keep it symmetrical there.
It's probably going to change. Now, what do you think? Do you think we should get maybe people in the chat to comment on like other tier levels each week, or do you want to keep them as such? What are your thoughts about our tiers?
I feel like we could ask. There's no harm in asking. If people want to, if we want to change up the tiers, maybe towards the seasons and like episodes and stuff. Maybe if people who are in the chat are bike aficionados and maybe like motorcycle aficionados could help us out. I think it could.
I was looking
add
up
to the
ride or
theme.
die puns and like didn't really find any. Like I did look, okay, but okay, we'll pose that at the end to comment and to see if they want to add any other tiers, and so we can play around with the tiers each week. I think that will also make it kind of fun too.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, right. So that's what we got here for our power rankings, from Nelson's speech to Loyal to the Soil. But we also have an update of our draft. So do you want to go through that, Drew? And do you want to remind me of who's on whose team? And I'm going to set up another board for us.
Yes, I can definitely do that. So Chris, Chantele, and I did a fancy draft back in June. When I did the history of the Excel spreadsheet, it was June 11th is when we picked. That was before the Challenge USA even had its first episode premiere. So we went far back. So on Team Chantele, you have Johnny and Raven.
Right. That was given to me from Chris.
Chris as a sabotage. Bananas and Nani was your first overall pick. Your first legit pick. Amber and Chauncey. Casey and Kenny.
Oh, I did that to myself.
And Annelise and Tommy was your final pick. And pretty much the final pick of the draft, technically-ish. Maybe not. Technically, my first pick was the final pick of the draft, which was Anissa and Jordan, who was initially Anissa and James.
Right.
Laurel and Jack was my first overall pick. Then right after that one, because I picked third, I picked Tori and Devin. Turbo and Tamara.
Oh, your team is looking kind of stacked. Fuck.
And Olivia and Horacio was my final pick.
You're good. You have a good one. You were so upset before, but I feel like your team is stronger now that I've seen the first episode.
I mean, technically, my first sabotage team was Emmy and Nam, and we see what came from them. So, and finally, it's basically everybody else but Darrell and Veronica and Emmy and Nam.
Can you just tell me the order that it was picked,
just
so I can put it up that way?
I gave Chris the sabotage of Kayla and Sam, which
that worked out well for him.
That really worked out. Fessy and Mariah was his first overall pick. And in Chris fashion, he picked Jay and Michelle.
Of course.
Which I think is a very solid pick now after looking back on it. Nelson and Nerys. Pretty decent. And finally, he picked Colleen and Kim as his final pick.
So with these two here, do I get Darrell and Veronica since I lost Kenny and Casey? I don't know.
I mean, if you want to swap them out, but I'm pretty.
No, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it.
I'm gonna stick it out and say that Casey and Kenny come back. That's what I believe. They wouldn't have talked about them so much on the Ready to Ride launch special if they're not coming back. And I feel like with Nani coming into the game, they're going to push it.
Yeah, exactly. Because like even in Casey's confessional, she was like, where is she? Like, can't see. Like, where is she? Like, she wants to see her. So why would they leave that in there?
Yeah, exactly. Can we bring Nani back? It's like, come on now. You knew.
Just
You said something. She said something to you. You know it.
So, Sudani, that's where we started pretty much with Pussy Chicken, and then Matthew suggested his speech. So, you know what? Maybe each week there'll be something new that we can add in there as a tier. So we'll keep it as such, and then if something comes up, or if you guys have a great suggestion, like we'll switch it around.
Maybe if something changes, we can change up like one tier at a time that like fits if something new pops up. I feel like Nelson's speech is gonna just stay.
Yeah, that's
stay
staying
forever.
Nelson's speech and Pussy Chicken, both of them are really good. So yeah, love it. Okay, so those are our draft teams that we did months and months and months ago. So how did we do for episode 1, Chris? Oh, I'm calling you Chris. Drew?
He's here in spirit. So I did all the stuff, putting everything together, and coming in third place at the moment is Team Chantele with 31 total points. But let's be real, you had a handicap because you had Casey and Kenny pretty much not in the whole episode, and your best team did not even enter the game until the final 2 minutes, which was Bananas and Nani. And you better believe they're going to get a billion confessionals, both of them. So right now you have 31 points, with your sabotage team getting the most points of Johnny and Raven, both winning the daily and kissing points, and 9 confessionals total, getting 16 points. So they made up over half your team's points. That's really impressive. Coming in second place, me, Team Drew, with 46 total points. I got the argument points double with Turbo because he got in an argument with Laurel and Devin, and then they both got those points, and then Tori and Devin won, and then Tori and Devin got 14 confessionals combined. That's a lot of confessionals together.
That's a lot.
So they got a total of 19 points. They're my highest point total team so far, but I got 46 points. And the man who is here in spirit and not here at the moment is in the lead with 49 points. Now, I will say all of his teams were already in the game, so he was getting points from the very beginning. And Kayla and Sam were his number one scoring team because both of them got 9 confessionals separately, meaning they got 18 points combined. Then you have Jay Michelle and Nelson and Annelise getting 11 points each, which is pretty incredible. He has 49 total points and in first place, but you and I both have 2 teams coming into the game late, as Chris has his first team already exiting the game. So I feel like we might be down now, but we'll get some points here going.
Yeah, I mean, when we drafted, as you already mentioned, it was months ago. We had no idea what was going to be flipping around, like, reconfigured. If we had done it last week, we would have probably selected a little bit differently. We would have known some of these teams would be in there. The order, everything would have been completely different. So I mean, I'm happy that we did it back then. So it makes it kind of like, it's a little bit more of a nail biter because I'm just like, why did I choose them? That was so long ago. I would never choose them now. But it's I like the fact that we did these in June. I think it's fun.
I had to remind myself exactly who got who, because like you said, we did this months ago, like so long ago that I was like, I didn't even look at it until closer to the time that we were having to get ready. And I'm like, okay, I can deal with this team. Like I think we were even talking to Chris before he made the decision that he wasn't going to cover the Challenge 38, that we were even considering redoing the draft.
A redraft, yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't have Darrell and Veronica in the initial cast list because we didn't know what was going on. By the time we were doing this, there were so many things up in the air and people were held back in quarantine. The second lockdown just happened. Like, we had no idea what was going on. And Darrell and Veronica weren't even rumored at that time. Or maybe they were, but we didn't know in what capacity. So we didn't even put them on the list. And then we were going to maybe redo it. Jordan wasn't even on there because we had Anissa and James initially. So, I mean, this was the Wild Wild West territory. Like, if it was any other challenge season, I think it would have been fine. But they have like 3-5 teams coming in late. and people replacing people. It was a lot to deal with, but we decided that we were just going to go forward with these
Yeah.
teams, and
And so
it's gonna be
we'll grab
interesting.
the footage and hopefully you haven't posted it yet at all, have you? Or no? You
It's on
wanted
my
to or you did?
Patreon.
Oh, you do have it up. Okay. I kind of want to post it, but we'll talk about it offline.
Okay.
Well, how did you find this? This was fun. It was just me and you, my ride or die, holding down the fort on a Friday night. How'd it
I'll be
go?
honest, it was really fun. One, getting to chatting with you about the Challenge 38, the premiere episode, getting to hear your thoughts on it, because I know I was hyped on it, and I wanted to hear if you were just as high on it,
It
or
was
if you
fun.
were just like not as high on it. And I would love to hear your thoughts. And then getting to talk about the teams in a different way than just doing another review and recap that we both do on our channel separately. To do it again would have been like, I don't know, overkill, but to do something different with the power rankings, getting to like think about teams differently in a way that I've never
are
really
you a
had to
pussy
do.
chicken or are you a ride or die or a different?
I'll be honest, I'll be thinking about that now as I'm watching the episode. It'll be an extra thing of like, was that a pussy chicken move? I think it was. I'm gonna have my own Laurel list up here, my Drew dossier, and I'm just gonna be like, I think that was a pussy chicken move. What about you? What
So
do you think
awesome.
about the
I
premiere
thought it
episode of this?
was so fun doing it this way. Like you said, like I love my recaps. Like I love doing it on Wednesdays after the episode airs. It's super fun for me doing it with Michelle and Fanta sometimes, and Matthew. Like I definitely love doing the recap right when it's fresh. But this was like I thought this was a really great way of just like still talking about the episode, talking about it with you, who I know knows everything that went down and like everything that happened with it, and have like so many thoughts and opinions. And then just that, like thinking of these players in a new way, because it just allows a completely new conversation to come about. And so I personally thought it was super fun. I'm really happy that we decided to stick to hanging out on Friday nights, and that we found a way to kind of revamp it and make it something a little bit different, a little bit new. And I think that people will want to participate it in a new way as well. So I think all around thumbs up for me. Loyal to the soil move on our part.
Exactly. I'm totally
We're
down.
top of the leaderboard. Prince says, this was great. Love the power rankings. Yes. Yay. Thanks, guys. No more spy crap. Yes. Thank goodness we're out of that. I mean, I usually love the spy thing, but like they were doing it was overboard for them. Yeah, but I'd rather see a rival or exes. I do want to see one of those. But it could be coming, right? Because like we're doing ride or dies, like maybe it's next episode, like, and then they died. Like if people are not friends anymore,
That would be awesome.
Hi, Miss St. Pete. So way to keep it objective, even with the frustrating players. Yes, awesome. I mean, there are some frustrating players, and we definitely have our opinions of them, but we know that they're human beings, and like they're being edited a certain way. And so we don't want to really tear anybody down, but we definitely want to call them out on some of their behaviors at times, for sure.
But if a team deserves to be cut down, best believe we'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. In a objective fashion.
Yes.
We'll say.
Yeah, totally.
I'm very biased, but I know Horacio will be a diamond in the rough. Okay. I think that we ranked him high, so I think that he could definitely have some high potential. All the rookie teams that are on this season, I can see them coming back. Like I can see that they're making kind of a mark. Maybe not Kim and Colleen at this point, but all the other rookies, like I could see Nerys like taking over Nani's baton. She's like moving in and taking on that kind of vibe that Nani used to bring back in the day. I can see that for sure. And it's interesting that they're both have a very similar birthday. They're both either the 26th or one's the 24th and one's the 26th of January. And so I'm like, was this around my birthday? So if I was on the challenge, would I be as messy as them? Because I'm the 25th.
I do love that this first episode gave me older challenge vibes, like mid 20s or early 20 vibes, where it's like we're seeing makeouts happen in the first episode. I don't think we got to see that much in the past like 2 seasons very much. Like it was very much like they were tentative on how they showed what, and they didn't want a lot of drama. I remember there was Anissa's birthday party and they completely cut out the lap dance. They showed in the promos and the trailers the three-way kiss, or her and Anissa
Yeah.
and Amber M making out, and Michi was like shocked by it, and they totally cut that out of the regular show. And this season they're just like, let's do it, let's have a fun, let's
I
get
think
to
they wanted
fights.
to like show off to CBS. That was like like, oh, do you know what? CBS, you're gonna come in and like dad and come and be all like, buttoned up. I'm like, we're gonna be all our MTV like trashy selves, and we're gonna have fun this season. So they probably want to let loose and bring us back some of that old school vibes. Hopefully, we'll see more club scenes because we got a lot of young people that love going out drinking, dancing, and making out. So it definitely is giving me old school vibes, which I agree. I like.
Yes, stay
Definitely.
this way, challenge.
Yes.
Like, keep this trajectory going, keep this, please.
Well, what do you have going on this week, Drew, and weeks to come now that we've come to the end of our power rankings?
This week I will be doing a live for Patreon on tomorrow night. Going through a house tour. I got some special videos that I've been producing and working on all day instead of making another video for the channel. So hopefully it comes out. I'm going to be working on it tonight. But I will be back Monday with a challenge short. Also going to be getting this video and doing an edited version for my channel. So it's promotion for the lives, as well as if people may have missed our talk here and don't have an hour and 35. Wow, we only talked for an hour and 35 minutes. I kind of lost track of time. I thought we were talking for way longer than that. But if people don't have an hour and 35 to watch of us and this live, then they can watch the edited version, or they may want to see my edited version and want to be a part of this live and be able to talk to us directly, which is this was fun. So I would love for everybody to just join into the chat and have a great time.
Yes,
Tuesday, I'll have a
party.
challenge video, and then Thursday, review and recap, and Friday, Tiny Table Talk, leading into 8 p.m. next week, back here, talking about
Regular
the power
time.
rankings for episode 2 with our Ride or Dies.
Yes. Amazing. So what do I have going on? What don't I have going on? I am reviewing usually after the episode, but sometimes I'll do a double episode on Tuesdays after Bachelor in Paradise. That mess. Also doing the Real Love Boat. I'm not sure if we're going to keep on the Real Love Boat, but right now we are recapping that on Thursdays, usually at 6 p.m. Eastern. Live after the episode for the Challenge 38, we go and we talk about the episode on Wednesdays. Then obviously Fridays here, 8 p.m. Eastern with you. Mondays, I'm with Sarah from Entertainment. We do a dice ranking for Survivor. And I do the Amazing Race on Thursdays. Yes. So I'm also recapping The Mole. Are you watching The Mole, Drew?
I need to get on it. With so much going on.
Quick before you get spoiled.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't go on sites that'll spoil it, I don't think. But
Like people are talking.
there's so much like with the season coming that I had so much to prepare, and then I even added more to my plate for like no particular reason. I was like, oh, I could add this, I could do this, I could do this. And then I've had to push so many things back, but The Mole is definitely on my list, as well as I need to watch The Amazing Race from this past week. So, but I did watch Bachelor in Paradise, and my gosh, Pizza Pete is ridiculous. I despise that man.
I don't claim him as an Aquarius. He's like the only Aquarius I do not claim. I do not claim him. He must be a February Aquarius. I don't know. Because I'm like, I love all Aquariuses. I stand them all. Like, I've never met an Aquarius in real life that I don't like. And I'm like, oh,
I will not eat pizza for a while because of that man.
No, I can't do that. My best friend another Aquarius opened up a pizza tavern with her boyfriend, and so she's out of town, so I'm managing that place. So I eat pizza every time I go and manage that restaurant. So
well, that's fine then.
It's really good pizza.
As long as it's not Pizza Pete's.
No, it's not
restaurants.
pizza.
Too bad he's in Florida, so I have to deal with
Oh
him.
my God. Okay. So Drew, this is something that you need to do. You need to have a live like recap or viewing party of like, maybe it's a challenge or something, because I need like to come to where you are. And then we both need to go to Pizza Pete's pizza place.
We'll do the live in Pizza Pete's place.
Hey man, he would want the publicity. He loves talking about his pizza shop. So,
oh yeah, he does.
I'm into it. We should do it. Anyways, we will see you all next Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern for another set of rankings. Bye.